are economically developed. So Global North is in the upper part and economically developed and many resources. So may tanong ako, lahat ba ng bansa ay economically developed? No, hindi lahat naman sa ganoon ay nakakahon sila sa ganoong sitwasyon. Sa rin na they are struggling when it comes to economy. In terms of location, for example, in the Eastern Europe, makukonsider din natin isa siyang Global South because they are struggling of civil wars, conflict, etc. Global North and the Global South would change over time because pabago-bago tayo ng dynamics, especially in the contemporary world. Global North, also known as First World, because they are richer and developed region. 95% of them has enough food and shelter. Differences in the Global North: less population, high wealth, high standard of living, high industrial development.
Opposite. The Global South refers broadly to the regions Latin America, Asian, Africa, and Oceania. It is the one of family terms including third world and periphery that denote regions outside Europe and North America. Most have low income and often politically or culturally marginalized. The Global South represents many agrarian economies in Africa, India, China, America, and others are not economically sound, politically stable as their global north counterparts and tends to be characterized by turmoil, conflict, poverty, and anarchy and tyranny.
Good afternoon, classmate. This is my report. Report in South Divide. The concept of Global North and Global South is used to describe a grouping of countries along socio-economic and political characteristics. South Divide is the difference in wealth between the rich countries of the world in the North and the poor countries in the South and the UK. The difference in condition, especially economic, between the poorer area in the North and the richer areas in the South of the country. When did the North and South divide? The Civil War that raged across the nation from 1861 to 1865 was the violent conclusion to decades of diversification. Gradually, throughout the beginning of the 19th century, the North and South followed different paths, developing into two distinct and very different regions. The North-South divide is a socio-economic. The North-South divide is broadly considered a socio-economic and political divide. Generally, definition of the global North include the United States, Canada, Western Europe, and developed parts of Asia as well as Australia and New Zealand, which are not actually located in the geographical north but share similar economic and cultural characteristics as other northern countries. The global south is made up of Africa, Latin America, and developing Asia, including the Middle East. The concept of global north and global south or north-south divide is used to describe a grouping of countries along socio-economic and political characteristics. Ang konsepto ng global north at global south ay ginagamit sa paglalarawan ng iba't ibang grupo ng ibang bansa at sa mga katangian nito sa socio-economic at political groupings. So, ang South Divide, ito ang pagkakaiba ng kayamanan sa pagitan ng mayabang bansa at iba't ibang mundo gaya ng Norte at ang mahirap na bansa gaya sa South. Ang pagkakaiba ng kalagayan ng isang bansa, lalo ng economic at ang mahirap na lugar na ito sa Norte ay ang mayamang areas ng South sa isang bansa. Ang Civil War ay nagsimula noong 1861 to 1865. Mayroon itong maras na konklusyon tungkol sa dekada ng isang diversification. Gradually, sa pagsimula ng 19th century, Ang North at South ay sinusundan ng iba't ibang mga landas, ang pagbubuo ng dalawang distinct at iba't ibang rehiyon. Ang North-South divide ay isang socio-economic. The North-South divide is broadly considered as socio-economic at political divide. Karaniwan na ang kahulugan ng Global Norte, pati na rin ang United States, Canada, Western Europe, at ang pagdedevelop ng iba't ibang parte ng Asia, lalo na ang Australia at New Zealand. Ang Global South is made up of Africa, Latin America at sa pagbuo ng Asia, kabilang ang Middle East. Ang konsepto ng Global North at Global South divide ay ginagamit sa paglalarawan ng iba't ibang grupo ng isang bansa sa socio-economic at political characteristic. So, as such, the term does not inherently refer to a geographical south. For example, most of global south is actually the northern hemisphere. The north and south increasingly corresponds less and less reality, and it's increasingly challenged in economic terms. The north, with 1/4 of the world population, control 4/5 of the income earned anywhere in the world. 90% in the maturing industries are owned by and located in the north. Inversely, the south, with 3/4 of the world population, has access to the world income north regardless of geographical location. Similarly, in a nation that do not qualify for developed status on an effect to be part of the South, to be belonging of the South, which implies lack thereof. According why global divided the North and South. There are many causes for these inequalities, including the availability of natural resources, different levels of health and education, the nature of country economic and its industrial sectors, international trading policies and access to market, how countries are governed, and international relationship between.
The advantage and disadvantage of global divide. The advantage: good transfer of technology, better service, standardization of living, development of infrastructure, foreign exchange reserves, economic growth, affordable products, extension of market. The disadvantage of global divide: growing inequality, increasing of unemployment rate, trade imbalance, and environmental loss. Thank you po, sir. Thank you po.